All right, welcome in everybody. This is another Stormgate cast, and this one is going to be featuring here in the red Vanguard. This is Game Friend? No, I think this one is JXP, but we never know. We never know who is the Game Friend in the Game Friend account. I will be calling them JXP today. And their opponent in the blue, this is paintress. Paintress. And I selected these games because I don't know who Paintress is. But Paintress has risen up the ranks and has opened with a argent coming across the map, it looks like, out of this creation chamber. First argent here. Now remember, there has been argent changes. Argents no longer just gain energy naturally. The sergeant came in, took a shot, and then ran away. When they have their high energy shots now, they are 4 times the normal damage. So their normal damage is 12 plus 3 versus heavy. That's their energy. So here we see what they're doing. Watch their energy here. Every time they take a shot here, looks like they gain 4 energy. And so they're going to fire those off on the arc ship here to power up and get fully energized. That way, when they attack and fight the hedgehog here, they'll be doing that max damage. The hedgehog has to retreat very quickly. Power bank there powering up the arc ship to allow it to heal. And then the Argents are back to attacking to try and get some energy up. Another creation chamber goes down from that morph core. It has been, there was that original hedgehog, it's getting healed up by a servo here. We have a second mech bay popping out for Jay here. Hedgehogs are the units that Jay's going for. Again, we see the Argents powering up their shots on the creation chambers. Now the other thing to remember, of course, is celestial buildings do recover health very quickly, so this isn't going to necessarily jeopardize these buildings. If an attack came right now, of course, they would be weaker, but that won't last long.
Dimensional rift detected. A Stormgate will activate soon.
Now that is going to be helpful to capture a Stormgate because you get a big burst of energy, but it looks like that's not the plan for Paintress. She is moving out while Jay has brought a ton of servos, overcharge service, to go for the Stormgate. Well, there are super-powered Argents in your base. That hedgehog goes down, and there are almost no servos left here. So Jay is going to take some major losses here. Servo's going down. One trying to run away, but no, is surrounded basically by Argents here. One hedgehog tries to get away. Oh, and we see these buildings being sold for money. The Argents are retreating back home. Now, there was a Stormgate there. A Freyan was picked. Freyans can be pretty punishing in the early game here with their healing abilities. So we'll see what happens. Now, the hedgehogs have arrived. There's only 4. The rest are servos. There's no overcharge without having a command post. We got healing for the Freyan on one hedgehog. Ooh, huge power shot takes one-shots a hedgehog. And now the servos are trying to become a tanky front line here. But there's just way too many Argents. There's no way this is going to win. This is a win for Paintress for sure. Jay is just trying to see what kind of damage he can get done with the Freyan. Freyans, of course, as I said, very good. But if you are facing one, I think you have to do what we just saw there, which is snipe it. And that's going to be GG from Jay. Okay, we're back at it again. This is going to be a second game between these two. We saw in that last game that Paintress did a little bit of a rush. And I mentioned that she's new to the ladder. I don't know who she is, and she has got a lot of wins under her belt so far. And we saw one against Jay. And again, this is Jay again, I assume, under the Game Frem name. And this is Paintress. If you happen to know who Paintress is, let me know. If you are Paintress, say hi. But we got the same build, it looks like, here. With Argus going across the map. And this is the same map. But it is a slightly different build here, it looks like, for Jay. First Argent's going to get here. Now, what's the point of the first Argent? Is this just a scout? Walks right in, shoots a servo, and just boom, right back out again. So this must be just a scouting Argent to see what is your build. I think when you see a mech bay like this, that's all the information you need. That is probably hedgehogs. Otherwise, you might see a biokinetics lab, for instance, to get exos out or get some research. So these units once again charging up. And out comes the hedgehog. This time it's going to try and scoot around. It's going to do its own scouting. Going to see, hey, there's an array on the way. Argents versus Hedgehog. The Hedgehog wants to try and kill an Argent, but it's just micro here. And Paintress able to move that weak Argent back. And they're not fast enough to chase the Hedgehog down, so the Hedgehog will be able to get home. And we got a power bank, another creation chamber here at around the 2.5 minute mark. Loading up those Argents again with energy. Meanwhile, we have Jay with his hedgehogs over here healing up at the old healing camp. That's not a camp anymore. What is it? A healing fountain? I think we started calling it that because that's what they are in Warcraft 3. But it's got a healing aura. It's a healing orb, maybe? I don't know. Does it have a name? Can I click on it? It's a wellspring. Well, there you go. Now I have a name for it. It's a wellspring. Argents, how many are we up to here? 7 Argents. Looks like 8.
Dimensional rift detected. A
We have
Stormgate will activate soon.
our Stormgate activating soon, as our voiceover told us. And thank you to the Stormgate over voice lady. That is fairly loud right now, but hopefully that'll get adjusted. Most new sounds, it seems like,
appeared.
they tend to be a little loud, and then they need to be tuned in. No one cares about the Stormgate. Well, Jay here might be a little worried. Last game, took a bunch of servos over here and ended up losing the game because of it. But now we have hedgehogs here. And what are you doing, Paintress? You're not going to go for the tier 1 Stormgate nor go for your attack, which is what you did last time. So Stormgate does get captured by Jay. What are you going to get, Jay? Freyan? No. What is that? Oh, it's the Power Stone. Made one of the hedgehogs a super hedgehog. That's this one. Nope. That's this one. There we go. Super hedgehog. And once again, the boys are being pulled. The servos are coming along for the ride. So didn't get attacked this time, but still decides I'm going to pull all the boys. So Jay's going for an all-in aggressive play here. Plays the creation chamber, free creation chamber, boom. And going straight in, but look how many Argents there are. There's like more Argents than servos almost. And that means, ooh, the big old hedgehog in the back is looking mighty, shooting in. Argent's doing their best to stay alive, trying to focus fire the hedgehog. Gets the super one. Morph cores popping out. Of course, they're going to help from above. They're going to be good against the hedgehogs. Unless those hedgehogs siege up. Actually, the servos and hedgehogs are doing a pretty good job here. There's a lot of argents going down. Although it doesn't look like there's many hedgehogs left. It's just servos. And they can punch a little bit, but they're not really meant to be fighters. And as more argents are popping out of the creation chamber, I think this is going to be a hold. Still, the servos are doing pretty good. They're on auto repair. But Argent's pulling back to get under the healing rays of the arc ship. Little chaotic here. One Argent in the bottom fighting servos going to go down. Actually, this is a pretty good little push here from Jay. Now remember, he pulled all his boys. So he's got no income behind this. And doing his best to get the pull the Argents off. There's only one hedgehog left. And I think once those Argents get enough energy to get their power shots. Oh, no, they switch targets and they go for the servos. One hedgehog was sieged up. I didn't notice that. But we are going to get GG from Jay. Okay. Game 3 between these two. We got a question. Is this you, albino? No, says the paintress. So at least we got one answer there. This is not albino. And that's because albino's taken a little break from the game for a while. And I wish him well. And hope that when he's feeling up to it, that he comes back and shows us his skills. Because he was always a fun player to watch. So shout out albino. But this is not albino. This is paintress. She's going to paint us another game. We'll see how she does. She's going to send out her first Argent. So far this is a very practice or well, you know, at least for paintress, she knows what she's trying to do here. She did say she thinks this matchup's cooked. I'm an old man, but I think that means it's bad. So we'll see. And maybe it's because these Argent rushing sort of strategy work out well. It certainly worked out well for paintress in the first 2 games. And she's up to her 3 Argents again. It's still interesting to me to see that she runs these Argents all the way across the map and then runs them all back. Maybe the point of that was if you go command post first, then you win the game, maybe? I don't know. So, because every single time she's run up and not really done any damage and then run back. Waited for more Argents. In fact, waited until after the first Stormgate. And in fact, both of her wins so far have come on her own ramp. Another Morph Core. I bet we get our second creation chamber. That's what we've been seeing here. Yep. And the power bank. And healing up for the hedgehog. Boys pulled, but this time they're pulled to actually make a base. So maybe we're not going to see Jay go full all in here. 2 hedgehogs show up. Oh, I don't like that. Going up the ramp. Ah, yikes, yikes, yikes. Trying to get away. Needs to go back to the healing camp and heal up for the Stormgates. But, oh, these Argents know. They're like, oh, you're headed to those healing camp. I like how Jay anticipates and says, okay, I don't want to get caught there. And runs home. Is he going to run to the other healing camp? No, just puts himself in a defensive position. And now, but this is looking scary. We got 7 or 8 Argents.
A Stormgate will activate soon.
And they're pushing right in. We got an overcharge on the servos, which of course gives them armor, gives them some attack. But it also increases their speed and a few other things. Stormgate has appeared, but no one cares about it. Definitely not Princess. sorry, paintress, who might be a princess, I don't know. But she, trying to get that hedgehog, but good control so far from Jay to keep it alive. Servos have been going down. There was another hedgehog. I don't think a single hedgehog can win the Stormgate. A couple argents go there to fight it off. The rest of the argents are still doing ring around the rosy here with the servos. Trying to go for the hedgehog, but taking whatever chances they can at the servos. And doing quite good, actually. This is looking like a good harass. Nothing happened at the Stormgate there. There's just not enough units there to make it happen. I know we're sort of new to the Stormgate era, but you need more units than that. And that is going to be GG from Jay in this final game.